We'll get started in a minute here. Just making sure I've got everything that I need with me as well. Jim, I see you're currently on the call. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, your experience while we're getting set up? And if your voice isn't activated, you could share in the chat. All right, so let's get started here. And today's topic is going to be about some ancillary products that we have as real estate agents that hopefully will bring value to our consumers being our buyers and sellers and so on and so forth. The two that I'm going to focus on today is on Keller Mortgage and Porch. So let me first talk about Keller Mortgage and what is that? So my first question was going to be, how many of you watched the Super Bowl game yesterday? And how many of you saw like advertisements from like Rocket Mortgage? And there was another, your mortgage broker as well, which I've never heard of before. But can you guess how much they spent in advertising just for their little clip to be in the Super Bowl? I'm hearing somewhere around 7 million per minute. 7 million per minute is what the advertisers were paying to be part of a Super Bowl ad. Okay, so some of you might be saying, well, why is that relevant? What's relevant here is that Keller Mortgage is a part of the Keller Williams umbrella. So it is a separate owned entity, but it's available to us realtors and just because we are part of Keller Williams. And what you won't see is Keller Mortgage spending advertising dollars to promote Keller Mortgage. The way it's intended to work is that the money they're saving, just imagine that $7 million just for that minute ad in Super Bowl, not being spent in advertising, but instead being spent saving our buyers some money on financing. Okay, so again, they don't spend money advertising. As a result, they're able to save millions and millions and millions of dollars, and they're using that savings to reapply it back to us so that we can use to share with our clients. So as you can see in the screen here, it's talking about zero lender fees. And you can see it's got a login for an agent, and I'll log in shortly to kind of show it to you. And so it's got for borrowers, our buyers, and for agents, right? So that's kind of us. So the nice thing about if we're looking for a silver lining, with COVID and everyone being very virtual in nature and not meeting face to face, the lender, in-house lender, or the local lender didn't have that same appeal, that luster, because they couldn't meet with them face to face. So instead, they're doing Zoom meetings and they're calling and they're texting. So the introduction to me of a Keller Mortgage broker, lender, if you want to call them that, loan processor, whatever you want to call them, wasn't as important of a play for me to say, here's my local guy, because you're not needing to meet that person locally in person right now with COVID, right? So it was an easy transition for me to say, hey, let me give Keller Mortgage a shot. So the two benefits to our consumers is to save them money. So if you see here on the scrolling screen here, 0 lender fees, plus $1,000 credit, and notice it says 1,500. So if they're buying under 1,500, they're probably not buying in Chicago, or maybe they're buying a small studio, and so this won't apply. But they also get a $1,000 credit back at closing for a loan that's more than $150,000. So to pick examples, we have lenders that charge a $995 processing fee, a $1,200 processing fee. And so that fee is what is being saved by our clients, right? So there's 0 lender fees. Now, lender fees do not include things such as transfer stamps, title fees. So those are still fees, but those are not lender fees. So lender fee is something strictly charged by the lender. And I've seen on average $995 to about $1,200 in lender fees. They generally don't charge any points. Most lenders wouldn't charge any points. If you get a lender that charges your client a point, one of 2 things is happening. One, your borrower has really bad credit. And so in order to secure the loan, they have to have more, I'm going to call it skin in the game, money in the game. And that's why they're being charged a point to be paid up front. The second reason why a point might be a real value is not the right word, but a real life scenario is if your client is opting to buy down the interest rate. But interest rates right now are so low, I don't see people buying down the interest rate. But that might be another place where you see fees. Okay, so at the end of this, your buyer is saving approximately $2,000 by going with I don't want to call them a virtual company, but not someone that's local in Chicago. All right. So is that something that you could leverage and speak about? And maybe you're doing an open house and say, hey, work with me and I can save you $2,000. Would you like to know how? I can get you $1,000 back at closing. Would you like to know how? So these are points of conversation that sets you apart from other agents, because other agents aren't able to promise that to their clients, to their buyers. Okay, so that's the advantage of Keller Mortgage. So let's log into the portal here, and hopefully I will log in directly into my account. And let me move here. So we each can have an account. So this is my account. I've logged in, right? If you don't have an account, you just go to kellermortgage.com and you would register for an account. kellermortgage.com, and you would click on for agent, and it would ask you to log in to verify your credentials. Okay. So let's back up a step and let's look at my portal. So here's my portal. So it's already set up. Now, the nice thing about Keller Mortgage is you get to pick the lender you're going to work with, so that you're picking the same lender over and over and over and over again. And at the end of the day, you're building that rapport, that relationship with that lender. So it's not like a Rocket Mortgage that I was referencing on Super Bowl, where they are an 800 number and you call someone and you get someone on the phone that says, who are you, blah, 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 and then they transfer you to someone else. So you can pick a lender, and if you like that lender, you just keep using them over and over again. All right. So Keller Mortgage, even though they are not here in Chicago, you can pick your own person. How do you pick your own person? We'll get to that in a minute. All right, so this is my dashboard, my login. You can see that here. And so if I wanted to refer a client, I can just start typing them in. Right? I can do an email and a text, and I represent the buyer or the seller. right? So Rye Pickard is my lender of choice. So all my transactions go to Rye. Rye actually lives in Texas somewhere because I do talk to him, and I do have his cell phone number, so I can call him, I can text him, I can email him, just like if he were in Naperville or Chicago. So for me, especially with COVID, he is here in Chicago because he understands the Chicago marketplace in terms of property taxes paid in arrears, that we use an attorney state, that we don't use the word escrow. So I've had to work with him, at the very beginning, but he is my go-to guy going forward. I've built that relationship with him. So once you set up your account, this is how you can send Rye an update of I'm sending you someone, and also does an introduction to your client to Rye, your primary loan officer. All right. So as you build on this, you can see what deals you're working on. So you can see here, my deals, current deals, and you can see my archive deals. You can see things that have funded. Funded means closed. And unable to qualify, that doesn't mean he wasn't able to qualify. It just means that they didn't connect and he was unable to qualify them because they weren't able to connect. So you can see, and here's one that's pre-approved. So you can see I'm pretty active in working with Keller Mortgage. I've used them quite a few times. A lot of funded there, page 2. Here's one that began the process. He was doing a refinance. So what's interesting about this is Johnny Armstrong, for example, I did not help him find his property, but I know him from my billiards league, pool league that I play in. And somehow I built a relationship with him where he's reaching out to me for real estate type stuff, right? So now, as a part of this, I now have his address, right? So I can do that research to say, well, how long has he been there? And he's been there more than 12 years. So chances are when he's ready to sell, I will most likely be his real estate agent of choice. Now, the fact is he started the refinance process. He's probably not in any hurry, but you can kind of see your dashboard, your team's dashboard, if you have a team account with them, and kind of see where they are. All right, so Michael is an active buyer. He's pre-approved. We just need to identify the property. Similar with Jason, pre-approved. He's on hold right now because of COVID, but you can see your pipeline, your dashboard. All right, not sure what reports are. Let's see what reports are. This is kind of just showing, pre-approvals that I sent to them, closings. So I had a lot of closings. Well, I had 3 closings in January. Now, closings for them could be refinances as well. So I do know that one of those was a refinance. All right, so you can kind of see I'm pretty active all year long with them. And I don't know what else you would need to see on reports. Marketing, let's talk about marketing. So they have some flyers here. Let's say you're doing an open house. Let's see if there's one specifically for open house. So there's listing flyers. There are Keller Mortgage flyers, and I'll click on a couple of them. And for those that speak Espanol, está un, I don't know how to say the word PDF. Está un PDF por Español. That's about all I know in Spanish. Anyway, so if you have Spanish, if you're a Spanish agent or Spanish speaking, you might like to know that there's Spanish brochures in here. All right, so let's just pick one up. Click on any, I just clicked on anyone, and you can customize these. So basically grow your home equity, contact your Keller Williams about special financing, 0+, 0 lending fees. We already talked about that. Plus 1,000 credit at closing. That's only if the loan amount, not the purchase price, the loan amount is above $150,000. And plus a discounted rate. What they mean by that is you're not getting lower than market. They're just not raising the rate to give you that $1,000 credit. So some lenders might say, oh, I'm giving you a $3,000 credit, and then the interest rate might be 1/8 of a point to make up that difference, right? So if they charge you a higher interest rate, they're making a little bit more on the back end, and they can then give you a credit, and it seems like they're saving you money or giving you money, but you may have paid a little bit extra in terms of 1/8 of a point, and you might not realize that. So that's another thing there. So that was just one of the PDFs there. Your login, let's see, listing. And you see here it's editable. All right, so let's pick up on one of these. So it did download it. So here it is. Looks like it's going to show up as a PowerPoint. Yep, PowerPoint. So these editable ones download as a PowerPoint. So some of you might not have PowerPoint. I don't know that I can help you without having PowerPoint. All right, so here it's got instructions, how to use it, fonts, right? The other thing that you want to include with any marketing materials is this affiliated business arrangement disclosure. This is a must-have. And so I print out both the flyer, and on the back side, I have the affiliate business arrangement disclosure, so that I've given them that notice. Okay. Whether they sign on this or not, that's, don't worry so much about that. I don't know how hard you need to push for someone to sign on that. And I don't know if someone's going to sue you saying, oh, I worked with them and you didn't tell me that you were affiliated with them. If they end up using Keller Mortgage, you're going to want to have something signed off by them that's saying, hey, just want to make sure, full disclosure, you are aware that they are part of Keller Williams. I personally don't benefit from it. However, Keller Williams corporate does. All right. Any questions about Keller Mortgage and why you might want to use them and how you might introduce them? The other thing I'll show you, and if you have questions, go ahead and speak, but I'm going to show you where else Keller Mortgage shows up. So it shows up on your branded website. So this is my website, joegreen.kw.com. And if yours doesn't look branded, feel free to reach out to Scott Leroy Marketing, and they will help brand your website for you. There are videos that I could send you as well if you are tech savvy enough that want to do it yourself. But you notice here that I have very Chicago-based images on my website. All right, so let's just pick on one of these properties here. Let's click on, this one says pending. Let's click on it. We'll click on it anyway. So on the detail page of every one of our listings, as you scroll down, well, actually it's right here, Keller Mortgage, save thousands. So on every single page, there's a link that says Keller Mortgage, save up to $4,800 on your next home. Now, I'm going to say on average, they're saving you about $2,000, maybe $2,200, of which $1,000 back at closing is $1,000. And the fact that they don't charge lender fees, and most lenders do charge about $995 to $1,200. Those are the two fees that I can confidently say your clients are saving. Anything above that is going to be gravy. For example, points. Most lenders won't charge points, don't charge points. And if you're working with one that does, again, based off my prior conversation, there could be a legitimate reason why your client needs to pay a point, but we won't go into that anymore here. All right, so Keller Covered is insurance, so that's also going to be on every single page. I think they didn't want me to talk about that as much as that might be changing, but Keller Covered is a place where you can shop for insurance. Insurance, not health insurance, not life insurance, but homeowners insurance. Okay, so when a consumer buys a home, they have to prove to the lender that they have insurance on it. And for the most part, I've been telling my clients, hey, if you own a car, you probably have auto insurance. And as we've seen in lots of advertising, if you bundle home and auto, you normally have a lower insurance premium that you pay for because you have bundled them together. So I haven't had a lot of people specifically reach out to Keller Covered. However, it is there. Basically what it does is, and I'll just click on it to show you what it does. Keller Covered will kind of ask you some questions about what you're buying, where you're buying, hopefully. Maybe not. Maybe that's why they don't want me to teach it, because maybe it is gone already. But anyway, it's kind of like Orbitz or Travelocity or some of those travel websites where price compares, right? United is selling that ticket for this price, Americans for this price. So Keller Covered was quoting insurance rates like, and I don't know if all insurance companies are in there, like Allstate, State Farm, Farmers, AAA, whatever there might be out there. But that's what Keller Covered was looking to do. Again, that's just a side topic, but my point is Keller Mortgage is on every single page of your website. So as consumers search around, it's there. They see it all the time. So you want to be able to at least speak to it when they're like, what is this? And you want to have your account set up so that when they click on it, it actually goes into your agent dashboard, right? So I clicked on it here, and this is where I went to, Keller Mortgage, buy application, buy a refinance, and you can see it was already logged in with me as your agent, and they can go in and say, I want to buy a home or want to refinance a home, and it will walk them through the steps. Okay, any questions on Keller Mortgage? Because I'm also supposed to speak on something else. Porch, I think it was Porch. Yep, it is Porch. Ann Rosen, you are muted.
I thought it was Keller Covered, but that's okay too.
In my notes, it says Keller Mortgage and Porch, but
That's okay.
yep, I don't think Keller Covered. Let me try again. Okay, so I'll show you quickly Keller Covered, but I'm also going to show you Porch. But you can see here, high level, fetch multiple home insurance quotes in 7 simple steps. And you can see here, Travelers, MetLife, Lemonade, Liberty Mutual, Hippo, Encompass. Some of these I've never heard of before. Safeco, Nationwide, right? So basically you're going to, and I'll just start it here. I don't want to complete it because I would have to enter in my information. So get multiple quotes in 7 simple steps, right? What's your address? I don't care if you guys know where I live. That's where I live. No unit number. Let's go. Some might ask, is it a condo? Is it what is it? Bedrooms, bathrooms. So I'm not sure if it went to tax records and got this. All right, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1 story, built in 28, 24, 2,200 square feet. All right, if this information is not accurate, you can change it. It's 5 bedrooms, not 53. Okay, so whatever that is, but you see those are required, you can continue. Do you currently own or are buying? So in most cases, they're buying unless you're refinancing. Oh, on the refinance. Oh, never mind, this is insurance. On the refinance, you still get that $1,000 credit as well. So it is something, if someone's already purchased with you, you can say, hey, you still want to save $1,000 on your refinance costs, they will give you $1,000 back. All right, so I'm buying, continue. It's a single family, continue. You see, you're just making clicks here. Primary residence, continue. Noted it did show rental properties there. All right, name. Let's just put name there, date of birth, and continue. They might already have me in the system, but anyway, let's see. Almost done. Are you currently living at the address you want insurance? Yes. How long you live there? 2 years, 5 months. It's going to be 5 years, 5 years. And let's say 5 months. Get your quote. All right, so now it's just going through its magic, just like other Kayak and Orbitz and Travelocity. And you can see here it's coming up with insurance options, deductibles, personal liabilities, replacement costs, cost per month. You can purchase it right then, right now. The challenge with this, in my opinion, is because I also have a car. And so I do want to say, all right, well, before I proceed to purchase this, what is the rate if I bundle my car, right? I have an investment condo. Is there a different rate for that? So this is strictly online. And so I think they were going to change this because at some point you would have to, you could say purchase now, but you would have to call them to say, well, now I know what it would be for this, but now I need to add in my home, my auto, my investment property, my boat, whatever that might be. All right. So now, Joe, I fetched 9 quotes for you. So again, I was intentionally talking to Lane while I was building the quote, and you could see here, full coverage, $337 per month, as low as $93 a month. But again, you want to make sure you're comparing apples to apples. And let's see, compare plans. So here's a graphical in terms of what the annual costs are, replacement costs. I don't know where they're coming up with those numbers, but this is what Keller Covered is, shopping online for insurance. Okay, so then at some point you would reach out to them and say, hey, tell me more. Okay, that is Keller Covered. Porch. Who knows what Porch is? Why is Porch important? So Porch I don't use as frequently, but I'll explain when I've used it, why I've used it, and so on and so forth. Porch is actually, let me see if I can just log into Porch. Did I stop my share screen? I think I did. Okay. Porch. Porch is a third-party website. Let's see what it does. Okay, Porch. What Porch does for Keller Williams agents is it allows you to send them your inspection report. That's right. You could send them your inspection report, and they will give estimates of local vendors, suppliers for those various products. So let's see if I've got some reports that I could show you. All right, so how do you get to that? First, you have to have a buyer. So let's go to opportunities. You have to have a buyer that's done an inspection, right? You cannot do this. Let's say you're representing the seller. You can't upload the buyer's inspection report on your seller side because your seller doesn't really own that inspection report. They didn't pay for it. And it's actually a permission-based system. So let's go to a buyer that's under contract. Okay, and let's take Calvin, for example. We are actually in this stage of it. Right, so we've already gone through the inspection. So let's go to the details of this particular person. And you will see something here on the details of the opportunity. Right, you have to go in opportunity, and it's got to be a buyer. And you're in a detail section. And this is where you have their information, closing date, all that good stuff. And then you have something here called Get Started Repair Estimate Report, Repair Estimate Report. And it says Get Started. So let's click on that. And it shows here, negotiate smarter with repair estimate report. The repair estimate uses the details from your client's inspection report to create a cost estimate you can use during negotiations. Now, one of the challenges with this is they do need about 48 hours to process and to get estimates. And they do get estimates from local vendors. And it's kind of like, if you're familiar with Fiverr. Fiverr is a third-party site that you're like, hey, I need someone to do this for me, and I'll pay, either you can dictate how much you're willing to pay, 25 bucks for someone to do something, or you're like, here's what I need, give me, someone bid this out. And you might get bids for 100 bucks, 125 bucks, 300 bucks, and then you can pick and choose which one, and they're supposed to honor their bid. All right, so this is a relationship that we have with Porch. Porch is a third-party site that you can use separately, but let's view this video to see, or no, here's a sample report. So this is probably easier. So once you've uploaded it, right, it's gonna say, hey, you know, there was a part of the inspection report that says cracked rafter noted in attic. Page 30 of the inspection report, right? Most inspection reports are like 50 some pages long or so. And so it's saying that someone give an estimate of 400 bucks to do that. Okay. Citing some damage rot, right? And then someone gave an estimate of 495 there. So you can do some things. So what I want to jump to is something here for the electrician, because what I wanted to show you is subtotal 830 and combined 700. So the difference there is if you had the same electrician do all the electrical stuff, you're going to get a better rate of 700 versus if you did one-off pieces and everyone's doing their own stuff, right? So electrical outlet loose in first and second floor room, page 24, $124. To me, I think that's extremely expensive, right? So you have to have some knowledge yourself about some costs, maybe, right? But we don't want to represent ourselves as inspectors, or it's a challenge to give pricing out. So this can give you some confidence of saying, hey, according to this, here's an estimated price. So it's not you pulling it out of the air. It's you having some documentation that you can go back to. Now, personally, I think $124 to have loose, fixed loose outlets where you can probably, maybe it's just a screwdriver. You just have to screw it together, right? Take me less than 5 minutes, and yeah, I don't think I charge, you know, $1,000 an hour. All right, so replace smoke detectors. Is that really $200? Right? Okay, painting, it's got some stuff as well. So basically, it goes through every page of the report and sees if it's got contractors that'll bid things out. All right, so that's what Porch can do for you, so that when you're in negotiations and your buyer's like, hey, you know, how much is it going to cost to do all the electrical stuff? I may show them something like this and say, you know, hey, according to this, total combined shouldn't be any more than 700. However, let me point out that loose electrical outlets in the bedrooms, charging 120 for that might be a little bit excessive, right? So then they might come back and say, well, let's ask for a $500 credit as an example. I don't want to use this too much personally, I don't want to use it too much to say, hey, we've got to get 500 for this item. We got to get 495 for that item. I don't want it to be so hard firm that your buyer is going to be, I'm not buying it until I get my $900 credit, right? In the grand scheme of things, do they want to purchase that home? Are they going to ruin a deal for something like that? And let me see, I've got to go, okay. All right, so high level, we went through Keller Mortgage, and that you can pick and choose your own lender. and that Keller Mortgage is very integrated in our app, our website, consumer facing. You can print out flyers and brochures, bring them to your listings. So I've heard some agents use this in terms of you're $1,000 apart between the buyer and seller in negotiations, and you could reach out to the other side and say, hey, listen, Keller Mortgage will give your client $1,000 back at closing. This might be the gap that we have between your client wanting to come up 1,000 and my buyer, my seller wanting to come down 1,000. If you can agree with our price and your buyer gets $1,000 back at closing, aren't we there? Aren't we there? Did we not bridge the gap between that $1,000? Because, unless your lender is giving your client $1,000, I've got a solution to our gap. Let's bridge this gap. All right, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you. Any other questions? I do have an appraisal that I'm supposed to be running to, so I do want to make sure we don't extend too much out of our time here. Tony, you have any questions? I see you're muted. I don't know who you are, so if you want to say hi, feel free to say hi. And I know who you are.
You don't know Tony Zaskowski? Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure. I do know Tony Z. Is that the same Tony Z out of O'Hare?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Tony. I know who you are. Ann Rosen, I'm so sorry the game wasn't as exciting as it could have been. I know you're a Kansas City fan, and it was disappointing to watch. It wasn't.
Well, there's something to be said about a team sport. The whole team has to show up. So
Yeah. And
unfortunately, they didn't.
Yeah, I didn't realize Mahomes was as hurt as he was. He definitely showed it in terms of just how he was standing. He was always like hunched over to one side, and he wasn't when he was avoiding people coming after him. He went along. He was
Because
obviously
he was protecting himself, and because no one else was.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. He ran more yards than pretty much anyone else in the whole game.
Probably. So yeah,
yeah.
that was not fun to watch.
No.
Any
Okay.
questions? Any questions you have?
Not about this.
Okay.
No.
You have a question about something else? I've got a couple minutes here.
I'm not sure we ever got the featured listings conversation resolved, or if I was looking in the right place on our website.
Okay.
I gotta be able to open up mine.
Yeah. So let me show you on mine. So one thing I don't like about featured listing is you have to scroll down before you even see that it's there.
Well, but at least there's something there when you do that.
Yeah, but would a consumer know to scroll down? Is my point.
Well,
I wish it would have showed up. Now, maybe it's because I have my screen set up so that it's, for blind people. No, it's just not. Here's at 100%, and I would assume that in 100%, I would see something like this, at least a teaser.
but it's not that far. I mean, right, but at least there's something there. I mean, I think most people, when they see something, they will start scrolling. I mean, I think scrolling's a natural move. But regardless, mine doesn't have anything underneath there.
Okay, so let's go to site and app settings. So we're in the consumer.
I want to walk through this with you and do this while we're doing this.
So on the left-hand side, I'm in consumer.
Hold on, you're in command, right? You're not on the site.
I'm on command, yes.
Consumer. Site and app settings, okay?
So site and app settings.
I'm there.
And You should see right in the middle there, featured listings. Do you not
yeah.
see that?
Yep, I sure do have it.
Okay. And then do you have any listings there?
I do. I have 4 listings there.
Okay. Are they current, expired?
They're all active.
They're all active. All right. So does it have a green lever over here in the upper left-hand side? Use my information to brand my site.
No,
Let's click on that.
no, I don't have that.
You don't have that, or it's not green?
Oh, let me see. Hold on. Use my, oh, it is, yeah, it's green and it's moved to the right. Use my information.
Okay. All right. So you have things here. They're just not showing up, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Let's go to site, agent site options.
Agents, okay.
Before you go there, let's see. Is it here? We're
What
already
provider
there.
would you like to use for your sites?
Okay, so we're gonna, I think it's here, it could be somewhere else. Let's click on, I want to use my KW site, submit,
Okay,
and you're gonna click on get started,
okay,
acknowledge and continue.
okay.
Okay, on the right-hand side is where you're gonna look. Your subdomain is already there, confirm
Yep.
domain.
Yes. Congrats. You've save
Okay.
and continue.
Click on just below the subdomain, marketing profile information.
Okay,
And this is where you can change your email, your phone number, your bio.
it's all set up correctly.
Okay. Social
Okay.
media. All right, save and continue.
Okay,
Now style and theme, dark. I have dark selected on mine. Yours might be red theme.
yep, it's all set.
Okay, go to my, this is where you can pick and choose your hero pages. So as you saw on mine, it's all Chicago-based photos.
Okay, so I need to change that at some point. I do have one, but only one. Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
And you're gonna save and continue.
Mhm.
Let's see, customize your site navigation. So this is the sequence of, you're doing your company profile first, about me, contact us. So you could change that sequence.
Okay,
Search engine optimization. You probably don't need to make any changes there. You got some paragraphs you could change. Obviously, I want to change my photos because these are not Chicago looking photos. So I have to change mine as well.
so are those, how do you change those pictures? From this screen or from the previous screen?
From this screen here. So it's one, click upload to add. So each of these is a paragraph. Right? Paragraph 1 is our team of experts. Our team of experts. Upload photo.
I don't see upload a photo. I don't have an option to edit. I'm not with you. SEO.
So I'm on content. No, I'm on content. The next one
Right.
down.
Oh, content. Got it. Got it. Okay. Yeah, so these need to be edited. Yay.
Okay. So we're gonna go to the next one. Content. Continue.
Okay.
Again, you're just walking through each of these, save and continue. I'm drawing a blank on where.
Yeah, this has already taken me out. I'm already back to the agent site homepage.
All right. There's another place I'm just drawing a blank where that is right now.
Okay.
And then I would go to my trusted YouTube. Featured listing. And I know there's going to be a Marty Miller one. Most likely a Jake Cermak as well. Upload date. And new listing presentation.
Lori Ballin.
Lori. Hers tend to be kind of long, so.
She talks a lot.
Yeah. How to add feature listings to your site. Let's try that one.
Hi, this is Christina Norduli with Keller Williams in Northern Westchester, Putnam. Today I'm going to show you how to add.
I'm going to change the speed to 1.5 times.
And the featured listings will be right under your main homepage, underneath the search, right over here. So let's get started.
We know that.
Command. You're going to go all the way down to consumer. Click on consumer. We're going to go to site and app settings in the upper right hand corner.
Yep.
And there's a new tab here that says featured listings.
Yep.
You can add a heading if you'd like, or it already says featured listing, you can change it. And all you do is click select listing. What it will do is it'll automatically be set for only my listing. So if you have any listings, they should come up here.
Pro tip, make sure you click all listings because we know that that feature doesn't always work.
I only have one at the moment. So in order to include this, I just click select. You'll notice at the bottom here, it says selected 1 of 12. So you get to feature 12 listings on your site.
Okay.
I'm not going to choose just one. You can feature your own, or you can feature any other listing from any other database, not database, any other company. I'm sorry. So what I'm going to do is click on all listing, and you can select here by property address. You can search by MLS number, city, or zip code. This is zip code. And I'll do my current zip code. Only one comes up.
Now, obviously, we wouldn't promote another company's.
Right, but there is a limit of 12 is what you're
There
saying.
is a limit of 12.
So I'm just going to select 11 more from here just to show you.
Wow, she's promoting other ones from other brokerages.
Well, if there's broker reciprocity, there's no
Yeah.
reason not to.
I guess you could, yeah. I would think you'd want to get permission first, but that's me.
But if it's reciprocity, those are coming from the MLS, already there.
They will all be here. To the left of each property, you can just click here and you can move them around and sort them in the order that you like.
Okay.
This little trash can is if you want to get rid of it. Maybe the listing sold or maybe you don't want
Want to get them to show up.
You can just come back in here and just click the delete garbage can, but just make sure you click save changes. So anytime you add or remove something from here, you want to click on save changes because if you don't,
There's one more step
changes
in.
are not made. So
I know.
click on save changes. It says featured listing saved successfully. Now I'm going to go back to my website. See, they're not here. I'm going to refresh my page. And voila, here they are. So you can scroll through them. Here's my listing. I'm going to give a little shout out to my rental here. If you click on the listing, it will be brought to your website or your property page, and they can view it. And they can also do other searches from this. You notice under each listing, they don't necessarily need to be from your office, but it does give kudos at the bottom. It does say code courtesy of the other real estate agency, and it shows at the bottom of each one of them. So let's say I don't want these on here, so I'm going to go there, and I'm going to delete this one and maybe this one. So now I have 10. I'm going to click Save Changes, go back to my site, refresh. So the 2 that I removed will be gone from here.
So this
is how
isn't
you
the
add
right
information
video.
on your website and how to delete them. You go into commands, you go straight down to consumers. You're going to click on.
Well, I did everything she said. Oh, and now I have featured, but only one of them is showing up.
It showed up this time?
Only one of them though.
Okay, can you confirm that the other ones are still active? Because if it's expired,
Confirm, where would I look for that? Are we looking KWLS? Are
Well,
we,
like this one's, it still should show up. On the list that you had,
yes.
does it say anything there, like they're expired or anything?
The list that's inside an app settings, no, they're all, there isn't a place for status. It's just the picture, the address, the price, bathrooms, bedrooms, and that it's residential, and then a trash can. So let me select listings again. They're all selected. List date. List date. Oh, I see. I know. I'm with you. Sorry, I will correct this. Yeah, I've relisted them, but for some reason they're not. Yep, I'll go back and change that.
Okay, all right, not sure why one of them randomly just showed up. I don't know if you
Because
added
it's-
it while you were there.
Well, it's the only one that's active. The other
Okay.
ones I've relisted, and for whatever reason, they all stay in command and you have to select the right one.
Yeah.
Right?
So I have Jem viewing this on a weekly basis to say, hey, if anyone went off market, if we have any new listings, to add these in. So it's like for me, it's a once a week thing, but it could be every time you add a new listing or close something, part of your checklist to say remove from featured listing. Okay. I do have to run.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ann.
Thank you, Joe.
Bye.
Bye.